Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Owner's Box. I'm Michelle Yu, and I'm all by myself. Today, there is no Billy Koch. I know everyone is going to be sad, but to make up for it, I'm going to bring you not one, but two guests. So let's welcome them in right now. We have Jimmy George, the marketing director from Tattersalls, and Will Walden, trainer extraordinaire. And first of all, welcome, you guys.
Thank you, Michelle. Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Nice to see you, Jimmy. Will, I like the background.
Yeah, we're at the races today.
You got it running?
You can hear me now, right? We're good?
Totally can hear you, yes. We did have some technical difficulties earlier, but we're all good now.
Yeah, I have one in the 8th race today at Churchill.
All right, sounds good. And are you at Churchill or are you at Keeneland? I can't tell from the barn. It looks Churchill-y.
Churchill-y. That's it.
Okay. You know, the Keeneland barns are pretty exceptional. Everyone else's barns are okay. But at least you can walk in the shed row there, which is nice.
Yeah.
Guys, so we brought you on today because we want to talk about the upcoming Tattersalls sale. And then we get to hear a little bit from Will about his experience going there. So I think that's really great. Jimmy, can you just kind of lead the way about what we can expect coming up next month?
Yes, Michelle. Well, hopefully what we can expect is more of what Will and his father Elliot found at last year's December sales, because they came over, they bought 3 lovely fillies for John Sykes and 3 very smart fillies. I think first one off the plane was second in the Gamely on her first start over there. So grade 1 place on her first start. That was Olivia Meralda. Then Pipsy won the grade 3. That was her first start for you, wasn't it, Will?
It was, yeah.
It was. And then completing the trio is Aussie Girl, who won a allowance race the other day in very taking fashion. So, yeah, basically, well done, Will, and well done, Elliot, because they bought 3 very smart fillies, and we've got plenty more where that came from at the December sales coming up this year.
So now the December sale is strictly for fillies.
Yeah, well, it's almost a 2-week sale. So we have 1 day of yearlings to begin with. Then we have 4 days of weanlings, and then we finish with 4 days of fillies and mares. So they start on Monday, the 2nd of December, and finished on Thursday, the 5th of December. So nearly 1,000 fillies and mares, a lot of them off the track, ready to run on. In America, throughout the world, doesn't matter where, and also a lot of brood mares in foal.
Now, Will, was that your first time attending last year?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And tell me about your experience.
Oh, it was awesome. It was, it wasn't unlike any other sale. It was pretty similar format, but, the layout of the sales grounds is just, it's phenomenal. And, we were able to go to some of the trainers' yards early in the morning and watch training. And it was a lot colder than I expected.
You're in Kentucky. It gets pretty cold in Kentucky.
No. I left Turfway Park and was like, all right, it'll be at least a little bit of an upgrade from there. And it was not. It was a brutal awakening. It was cold, and it got dark really early too. So you had to see all your horses early because it gets dark so early over there. But no, it was a fantastic experience. Jimmy and his team put on a great show for everyone, and looking forward to going back this year.
Jimmy, how do you go about sourcing your mares and fillies for this particular section of the sale that seems to be really appealing to the Americans?
Yeah, look, this year we've got some very smart race fillies as usual. We've got the Irish Oaks winner, You Got To Me. She's one of the outstanding lots. We've also got an amazing 2-year-old called Vertical Blue, who won the Group 1 Prix Marcel Boussac the other day, which I'd say on paper was the best 2-year-old Group 1 fillies race in Europe this year, if not the world, in terms of turf fillies races. And she beat the Aga Khan's previously unbeaten Zarigana, I should say, who is basically favourite for just about every classic over a mile in Europe next year at this stage. So she's very, very exciting. And look, they set the scene for a very strong cast of fillies in training that we've got this year.
Will, when you go over there, do you bring someone to help you? Is it just you and Dad that go, or do you try to incorporate someone that is UK based that can give you a little bit more insight?
No. So last year it was just me and the old man, and we were all on our own. This year, Mr. Sykes is coming. His wife Susan's coming. I think my mom is coming this year.
Wow.
I
So
like it. I
the
like it.
the top horseman in the family is going to attend. I actually no, so we don't get anybody local to help us. We just kind of rely on what we've, I got a Racing Post account last year, so I went through catalog page by page and pulled up replays and watched them over and over and over again, trying to, glean from it what I could. I actually spoke with I had a phone call with Aiden O'Brien the other day because I had
Mhm.
some questions that just on ground and distance and the transference from over there to over here. He's a guy that continuously, I mean, year for the last 20 years has come over here and had success. So just what he thought European filly wise, suits the U.S. Better, and it was a great conversation, obviously, and so yeah, that's pretty much it.
I would love to know one thing Aiden told you about what fillies suit well over here.
Oh,
Oh no!
Just as we were hanging on every word then.
Oh my gosh, Will, come back. Come back.
Oh dear.
Oh, hopefully he comes right back because
Uh,
that that was exactly what I want.
you
Oh,
got
there he's
me.
back.
Jimmy will like this one. Aiden said buy the most expensive one.
That's very sound advice from a very wise man, Will.
No,
He's got
yeah,
deeper pockets than me.
I'm
Can I
sure.
ask what was about the price range of the 3 fillies you bought last year?
So I think we bought Pipsy for 700 guineas,
Okay.
700,000 guineas. I think Olivia Meralda was around 750.
She was
And
25. Yeah.
okay, and Aussie Girl was, I think, 340. Is that right, Jimmy?
380 Aussie girl. Yeah.
380.
Yeah.
What's a
Um,
guinea?
So okay, so a guinea,
it's a
Michelle, is
it's a
a pound and 5 pence. So that's a pound and a shilling in old money.
Okay.
And the reason for the guinea is that when the firm was founded back in 1766, the shilling, the extra 5 pence, was what the auctioneer took as commission, and that's we still take 5%, but we still trade in
Oh,
guineas.
I like it. Okay. Now do they use the term guineas anywhere else then, like as far as monetarily?
I think we're the only people in the world now that trade in guineas. If anybody else is out there still trading in guineas in this country, I'm not aware of them. But
Okay.
it works, and we've been doing it for more than 250 years. So we'll keep going with it.
That's
Yeah, but it's
exciting.
cool. It's got a big board behind the auctioneer that tells you
Yeah.
what you're spending in yen, what you're spending in U.S. dollars, what you're spending in. Yeah, no, it
Oh,
translates it all on there. So it's yeah, it's different, but it's cool.
that's really cool. Now, Jimmy, how long has that been incorporated? Because obviously that would be something when you have more of an international market, right?
Yeah, I mean the bid board always shows multiple currencies. We normally have, so obviously the guinea itself. Then, as Will says, we'd have the US dollar, the yen, and then we'll vary the other currencies depending on what the sale is. So for the breeding stock, we'd probably have the Australian dollar as well, and we might have the UAE dirham or something like that. So yeah, we try to cater it to the and of course the euro. Don't forget the euro. So we always feature that as well.
What's the average kind of price point if we have someone coming over there to go look? I mean, you bought 2 for the 700,000 guinea range. Is that kind of the average of a good racehorse over there at this particular sale?
No. I mean, I think, Michelle, the great thing about the sale is that good horses come at every level of the market,
Yes.
whether you're looking for fillies to race on with or whether you're looking for breeding stock. So I think, funnily enough, this year's Breeders' Cup was a great example of breeding stock rather than fillies to race on with. But so all 3 of the turf 2-year-old races on the Friday were won by fillies or colts out of mares bought at the December sale. And 2 of them, so Henri Matisse and Lake Victoria, were a very good advertisement for the top end of the market, because Henri Matisse's dam Immortal Verse was bought for 4.7 million guineas. And the dam of
That's
Lake.
what Aiden means, Will, when he says buy the most expensive horse.
Yeah,
yeah, I got it.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's fresh in Aiden's mind. You know, you aim for the top and you end up with the best. And then Quiet Reflection, who's the dam of Lake Victoria, she cost 2.1 million guineas. But then Ger Lyons's colt, Magnum Force, that won the turf sprint. His dam cost 38,000 guineas at the December sale. So, you know, and the same would apply with the fillies off the track as well. You know, they're coming in all shapes and sizes, and you can snap up a future graded stakes performer for very, very reasonable money. But equally, you know, Will and Elliot bought some very smart fillies for Mr. Sykes, who will always hold their value, regardless of what they spent for them at the time.
Will, what led you to go to Tats in the first place?
Mr. Sykes approached me after the fall meet at Churchill, the meet we're going through right now, about, you know, kind of expanding his racing operation. I think his exact words were, "I want to have some Saturday afternoon horses." And I was like, "Oh man, we just gone through all these yearling sales, you know, like they're all in the rearview mirror. And all we got is the and we had the Keeneland November horse to racing age sale coming up, and went through that catalog. Didn't really feel like there was the horse he was talking about in there. So kind of threw a curveball at him and hit him with the, you know, December mare sale. And Mr. Sykes is game for anything. He loves the game, and he's not going to shy away. So from something that might be a little off the wall or a little off book. So he put us on a plane. We went over there, and then, you know, I didn't know what these things were going to cost. I had no, you know, I didn't know what the market was.
I still don't. I'm still not sure how much 700,000 guineas is. I got to figure that out.
It's
around $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I realized what they were going to cost, I thought, I didn't know what we'd get done, but like I said, Mr. Sykes was game. He wanted some fillies to bring back, and you know, he put up the money for it. And you know, the third filly that Jimmy was talking about that we bought, Aussie Girl, that won at Keeneland last out, she's pointing towards the Grade 1 matriarch on December 1st. So I'll be at Tattersalls when she runs there, but she'll be a top 3 choice over there.
To deputize for you at Del Mar.
I will do your thing. You got it.
Okay, I will be there.
She is. You'll see when she goes over there. When you see her in the paddock, you know, the kind of physical that they, you know, the quality of filly that they put on the sale over there in Tat. She's. If I were to tell you she was by Curlin, you wouldn't question me.
Oh, is she a Curlin?
No, she's not. She's a start, but I'm telling you, she's just
burly.
She's strong. Yeah, very, very strong and fast looking, and she's an incredible physical, and really, really talented, and we're excited to run her next month.
We'll have to all watch it together.
Yeah, 2:30 in the morning.
Okay, you're on your own.
I bet you some of those guys are going to be up working, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy, have you seen a little bit of a physical change over the last decade or so as you get more American buyers? Are they looking for something that's more American looking?
Look, I think in a funny way, the secret of the success, I mean, the filly that Will's referring to, I think it's no coincidence that she's by Star Spangled Banner, who himself is an Australian bred, and I think, you know, gets that size and that power and that strength that you associate with the Australian breds, and that would be typical of Star Spangled Banner. But equally, there's been an awful lot of US buyers coming over for the yearling sales in recent years, in particular, but one of the October yearling sale. And again, Will's dad Elliot was over 6 weeks ago or so for book one this year, and they're buying you know, the best European bred yearlings that you can find. That's what you find at book one of the October yearling sale. They would not necessarily be typical of what you would find at Keeneland in September or at Saratoga in August. You know, they are typical of the European breed, which is perhaps a little, you know, doesn't have quite the same sort of size and obvious power that those big dirt horses in America have, but nevertheless they're not meant to. They're turf horses and they work. And I think that's possibly the key to why the sort of Chad Brown, Mike and Mary Ryan team did so well from the word go when they came to one of the October yearling sale about 6 or 7 years ago, because obviously Chad was used to training ex-European horses from almost the outset of his career. So, he wasn't buying them, the bigger the better. He was buying athletic, big walking European yearlings with big pages and by stallions that kind of make sense. But he wasn't just zeroing in on the biggest colt you could find in the on the park, or the biggest filly out there. He was focusing on what's worked for him over the years, and I think that's what the buyers have been doing, and with great success. Well, when you got the guys, so Will's dad, he's been, he's one of the most experienced horsemen any of us will ever meet. He trained with huge success himself, and is a very accomplished horseman. So he, whilst it was Will's first go over there, his dad would have very much known what the typical type of European turf horse to expect, and and he's clearly imparting that knowledge to Will, and very quickly.
That's what Will did. Were there any moments that you and your dad butt heads? Did you love a horse and dad was like, no?
No, the only time we butted heads was I wanted to go to a restaurant in town, and he was intent on eating at the groom's canteen on the sales grounds, and he ended up being right. It was bad. But no,
he's mom coming this year. Is mom going to have her eye out on some horses?
Oh yeah, mom's always got an opinion. She always does, but it's a valid one. She galloped for my dad for many years and rode out in Europe before she's from England, and she taught me as much as I know today as my dad did, as far as from a horsemanship perspective. But yes, she will come, she'll have her iPad out, she'll have an opinion, and we'll see if it works.
When you're looking at these horses, a lot of times now we do the Horse of Racing age sale. We do a lot of digital over here. So when you're there and you're on the ground, what do you key in on first? Are you looking for a race record? Are you looking for pedigree? Or are you looking for physical?
I think a combination of everything. When I go over there, I pretty much know what's on the page and what's on the video, what the past performances say, what it looked like visually. Now I'm looking at the horse in person. Obviously vetting plays a part into it, but I'm looking at the horse at the end of a campaign, which they usually are, because this is the time of year where they get put up for the winter. Does the horse look used? Does the horse look, like it's still got some juice left in the tank, or just kind of trying to gauge the horses and individuals that still want to do this. Is it something that'll handle the ship all the way to the U.S.? Is it going to wither up under me? Because, we train on the dirt over there. So while, like Jimmy said, you're not going to get the big, robust, muscular dirt physical that you get over here, you still need something with some substance. And that's what we found.
Oh, no, we lost him again.
I'm sure it'll be temporary. I hope it's temporary.
Jimmy, do you have your book out there? You picking me out something to buy?
Yeah, I tell you what's nice.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The other nice thing about the trip that the guys are making is that Mr. Sykes himself came over a few years ago and bought some weanlings, one of which he left over here. Or, well, I'm not sure that was the original intention, but she's a very, very pretty See the Stars filly who is now 5 years old. And she's not just pretty, she's very well bred. But the great thing is she's also now a Group 3 winner and Group 1 placed on her last start coming into the sale. So there's sort of two strands to Mr. Sykes's trip, and which I think is great. We were all thrilled for him that he had such a good filly over here in training with Rafe Beckett. And so he's in true American style. He's coming over as a purchaser and a vendor.
We like that. We like that. Will, can you talk a little bit about what it was like getting all those fillies home? I don't think a lot of people know what goes into having to bring a horse from Europe to here. We see all these, hey, we got a UK horse, we got a horse from here. But what goes into that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember the exact timeline, but they went to the fillies I bought all went to a local yard, probably, I don't know, 5 minutes
Mhm.
from the sales grounds itself. And they spent, I want to say, 30 or 45 days over there getting a series of um, tests that they had to test negative for in order
Mhm.
to get on a plane to come over here. And after that month or 45 days, they shipped to Indianapolis. They were vanned to Churchill Downs. They spent 7 days at Churchill in quarantine, and then they came to me at Turfway.
Okay.
So
So most
it wasn't too bad, and I had really good communication with the girl that had the fillies over
mhm.
there for those 45 days, and we would talk back and forth on WhatsApp and kind of make sure everybody was okay and in good order. And when they came, they looked great, and were ready to go right into training.
Now, is that someone that you knew, or like how did you set that up? Does Jimmy have like a list of farms nearby if American people buy that'll like do the quarantine on their end?
No, I think I found this woman through IRT who actually
Okay.
transported the horse. They've got several
They've got a
people.
list.
They've got the list, and they were really, really accommodating,
Okay.
and really helpful. And I can I can sometimes, get in a panic or a stew of not necessarily having my hands on them,
Mhm.
which I like to do, and these guys, they were awesome. They, like I said, they kept me informed, you know, multi multiple times a week, and like I said, when they came to me, I felt like I'd had them the whole time. So
Oh, that's great. That's great. Jimmy, you had a book out earlier.
Mm,
Were you finding me a horse to buy?
that's it. Whoop, we go that way.
Just
So
go
that's
like
it.
this. I'll tell you when to stop, and that's the one I'm going to
Yeah.
buy.
So now that was where I got to in my recent catalogue updates. But so you can see it's quite a big old book. But look, there's an awful lot of good kit in there, and it is, and you just never know where the next superstar is going to come from. I
Mhm.
guess the best story out of last year's sale arguably is, again, goes back to Aidan O'Brien's very wise advice: spend as much as you possibly can on the on the best you possibly can. But it was a filly called Via Sistina who came into the sale as one of a handful of Group One winners in the catalogue. So she wasn't exactly a you
A
know
secret.
a, yeah, she wasn't a secret. And but since then she's won. So she cost 2.7 million guineas, and she was bought by Mr. Zhang of Yulong, who races and breeds mostly in Australia. But despite that extravagant purchase price, she's now, I think, 1.2 million pounds in profit, having
Wow.
won 3.9 million pounds in prize money in Australia and 4 Group One races. So I don't think many of us were expecting her to turn a profit in less than a year, but she has, and she's. I don't think many people would disagree with me if I said she was the best racehorse in Australia at the moment.
Mhm.
she's a
But
beast.
and she's extraordinary. But weirdly, what makes her story even more bizarre is, I mentioned earlier that we had one day of yearlings at the beginning of the December sale. So her first appearance at Tattersalls was as a yearling at the December yearling sale, where she was bought for 5,000 guineas.
Wow.
So if ever there was a rags to riches story, it's her.
I need to
Which
find
is
one of those.
surprising because she is a big. I looked at her last year,
Yeah,
um, and the guy who bought her is he's tough to go up against. But she's an impressive physical. Like, she's
yeah,
big. She's like 16'2", 16'3",
yeah,
stands over a ton of ground, and she's got substance to her. She's a big girl.
yeah.
Really, really pretty filly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Big range, exactly that. Big rangy filly by Fastnet Rock, who gets them like that,
Mhm.
And no, she's just been an extraordinary story on every level.
Very nice. Oh, guys, I'm looking forward to Tats coming up, and I really appreciate the time. I know Will's got a horse to run. Jimmy, can you just really quickly breeze us once again through what we can expect this next month, how the book's laid out?
Yeah, absolutely. So the yearlings start on, God, now, Michelle, you've got me. I'm going to say the 25th of November. That's the Monday of that week. Then followed by 4 days, if I say 26th to November the, what are we at, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So to the 30th of November, there's one dark day in the middle of that. And then the fillies and mares start on Monday, the 2nd of December, and finish on Thursday, the 5th of December. And as I say, there's just shy of 1,000 of them. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing Will, his parents, the whole team, and plenty of other buyers from America and further around the world.
And will you recommend everyone eats at the Groom's Canteen?
100% ham and brie, whatever it is, delicious, top stuff.
All right. Well, I appreciate both of you guys joining me here for this edition of the Owner's Box. Will, good luck in your races, and we'll see your horse out in Del Mar. I'll take good care of it for you.
Thank you. See you in a few, Jimmy.
Thanks.
Cheers, Will.
Jimmy.
Good to see you. See you soon.
Cheers to you also, and thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Michelle. It's a pleasure.
Talk to you soon. All right, that was Jimmy George from Tattersalls and Will Walden, the trainer, a compatriot of theirs. So that was really great. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's take a look at what is up and coming this week. Of course, this would be normally when Billy would talk, and then I would get to look up everything. But since he's not here, I have to do it myself. So this week at Del Mar, we do have races Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to be having Wine Down on Friday. It's College Day on Saturday. And on Sunday, it is Food Bank Day. So I believe if you bring in canned goods, you get free admission and parking and a program and everything. Stakes races, we have the Desi Arnaz on Saturday and then the Bob Hope on Sunday for 2-year-olds. So that should be really exciting. And of course, racing does continue on through December over at Del Mar. In fact, that closing day is Sunday, December 1st, which is the day Will's going to run his filly in the Grade 1 Matriarch. So hopefully we get to see you guys all down at Del Mar, and we will be back with another episode of the Owner's Box eventually. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors, including the Morning Line Club. We are still working on bringing them back to you with a little fun and informative episode there. And of course, to In the Money Media and my partner, Billy Koch. See you guys.